Hello everyone, welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This is for the Fight of the Night at the Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York, at UFC 244, which was headlined by Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. The fight of the night in question was the third fight along the main card between Stephen Thompson and Vicente Luque. So as always, I tend to go through these like round by round and try to break down exactly what happened to the best of my ability. Before I do, I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned into Harsh Environment last night on PPW. It was such an amazing pay-per-view. Like Cal Valen losing her women's title, like the chamber matches were all great. Pretty much everything about it was awesome, except for the open title match that was over a bit too quickly. But not gonna complain. Yeah, and obviously I'll probably see I'm hoping I'll get one out like by Wednesday. I don't want to do another PPW tomorrow. I'm gonna wait until Wednesday, I think. But I'm getting a bit sidetracked. So next, excuse me, that's a stretch. So yeah, onto this fight of the night between Stephen Thompson and Vicente Luque, which Thompson won by unanimous decision. And having watched the fight, yeah, no, it is actually pretty clear that he did win across all three fights, across all three judges' scorecards. To me though, this was definitely one of those cases where like it is a lot closer than it wound up being, and for the most part, Vicente Luque tanked what Stephen Thompson had, but we had to break it down round by round. So round one is pretty much almost the entirety of this fight is stand up war. So round one is the two like start off with a few leg kicks here and there. And it's good for Vicente to land leg kicks on someone like Stephen Thompson, who's known for like spinning and doing a lot of spin kicks and stuff. And there is some really good trades back and forth in round one. There is a moment where Luque does land a left hand that does damage Steve Thompson a bit, and it does back him up. So Luque decides to close the distance against the cage and lands a few strikes, but Stephen Thompson, being fast and being smart, manages to get out of it. And it's not just like Stephen Thompson's backing away the entire fight either. Like Luque is closing in on him and landing good strikes, but Thompson's counter striking is really getting him some points too. However, even though this was a unanimous decision, and I do give the first round to Thompson, as I would give all three rounds to him, this was definitely the closest one in my opinion. Like it's Vicente Luque could have definitely pulled away with the fight at some points in this, but because of how good Stephen Thompson is, he didn't really give Luque that chance. However, there was a moment as well where Luque was cut open, like around his left eye area, like around here, just next to the eye. So none of it actually like got into his eye. Hopefully, well, thankfully rather. Thompson. This is something that Joe Rogan pointed out in commentary, but Thompson may have been eye poked a bit early on because he was touching his eye. But throughout the rest of the fight, he seemed completely fine with it. So obviously, it wasn't a super huge eye poke. Otherwise, the referee Keith Peterson he would have pointed out, and he's usually a really good ref. So if it was a serious eye poke, they would have done something about it. Luckily, Thompson didn't seem too bothered by it. Round two was definitely where things started to shift more in the favour of Thompson. Luque started to noticeably slow down. There was a little bit more clinch work in there. There was a couple of clinch attempts in round one, especially when Luque had Thompson against the cage after landing that beautiful left hand. In round two, it was definitely more Thompson's round. Like he managed to escape a lot of what Luque had. Luque was landing some great combos, but Thompson was landing some of his own as well. There was a moment where he landed like a sort of front kick to the torso and then knocked Luque down, but he rolled onto his back and managed to get himself back up. So that was kind of awesome. Luque was still closing distance and still landing a lot of really good shots on Thompson, but Thompson's counter striking was simply amazing. He landed one good counter shot like near the end of the round and followed that with a great combo, but Luque managed to follow that up with a combo of his own. And there was a lot of really good trades. There was a moment where there was more body shots around too as well, especially from Luque. He was starting to land a bit more to the body, which is good against a karate fighter like Thompson because that style is usually revolves around keeping your head away from any part of the opponent that can hit it really. So for Luque to start going to the body a bit more, and even though he wasn't going to the legs as much, it did start to. Sorry for cracking my knuckles. It did start to pay off a little bit more, but Thompson definitely still. He pulled away with round two a lot more than he did with round one, especially with his combos. And round 3 was pretty much all Thompson. Like, this is where the fight started to lose a bit of steam for me personally. Like, Luque, he was busted up pretty badly, but he was still hanging there, in there. He was still hanging tough. God bless his heart. And he suffered another body kick which knocked him down. He went for an overhand, but Thompson clips him with, I think, like just a really good straight cross, a right cross, and it knocked down Luque. And round 3 was definitely more Thompson's round. He started landing more spinning moves, like there was a really great spinning left kick that he landed. He landed one to the body as well. He started landing more shots to the body. He landed a really good 1-2 combo as well, which stunned Luque. This is where Steven had the big amount of the fight, and definitely I think the round in everyone's mind where he definitely won it, and definitely in my mind he won it too. I wish that I could remember more from this fight. This wasn't as even as previous ones, and I don't think it was as good as previous ones I've covered, but it was still great. And Vicente Luque and Stephen Thompson are two absolutely phenomenal fighters. So obviously putting the two together in a match like this. Sorry, I thought I had something. Putting them together in a match like this would yield a good fight of the night result. So I don't really have a lot of complaints. It was good. I don't know if it'll fall in my best tier. It might be an honorable mention. I really enjoyed this fight. Definitely still worth taking out, in my opinion. Absolutely. Like Vicente Luque, he's great. Stephen Thompson, you already know he's great. He's nicknamed Wonderboy for a reason. And yeah, all in all, solid stuff and pretty good night for New York once again. So that'll about do it for this Fight of the Night review. Because at this point it would just be rambling. I've already said all the BBW stuff. If that next episode doesn't come out Wednesday, it's going to come out on Tuesday. And man, Defy the Gods is looking good already. I'll see you all. I'll see you all for whatever's next. I'm hoping to get something top 10 related out within the week as well. So I'll see you for that. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye. Oh, and also, sorry, no Kitty today. He's out at the moment. So.